In the middle of February, a time when a lot of folks go south to escape the cold weather, our family decided to go up to New York, western New York, an area infamous for its snow, for the winter.
I just looked at the forecast and they're supposed to have 3 to 5 inches up there.
On Monday?
Well, tomorrow night.
Oh, really?
We might pass through rain, and then as we go north, it'll turn to freezing rain and ice. Turn north, it'll turn to snow. But the earlier we get there, the more chance of beating it.
The main reason for this trip was actually a video project of Dad's that required a lot of snow footage of the Finger Lakes in particular. They have beautiful rolling hills and lots of trees, beautiful lakes. So our hope and our goal was to go up there to get some snow footage.
What do you need, Poppy?
Well, I have a question
Ask your question.
about tonight.
Tonight. Okay, go on.
If I could have a little less sleep. The night before we left on the trip, I was hoping to stay up all night. Then I could sleep in the car and not get so bored. Like, I'll have plenty of sleep still. It's just.
No, I don't want you to stay up all night because you will not want to stay up all night by yourself. You want to do it with someone else and they miss sleep. And then guess what? I hear a bunch of giggling and pillow fights and I get no sleep. Nice try. No way, Jose. Sorry, sweetie. You sleep.
Mom didn't want Peter staying up late because that would mean somebody else would also have to stay up late with him. But then Peter came to me and asked if I was staying up late, and I told him I was. I need to stay up a little bit to pack. I actually don't tell Mom that I haven't packed at all yet. So I have like 6 hours to pack, so I'm going to be staying up a little bit. But I don't mind if Peter stays up. I think I'll ask Mom, see if that makes a difference. You see, Peter and I are good pals. We go way back. Knowing that I was staying up all night anyway, Mom let Peter stay up also, and he spent the whole night just goofing off with the older guys in their office.
Can you find a tomato one?
You're holding a little bear stocking here. And for some reason you get mad, you throw him down and stomp on him. So you just stopped.
They ended up watching just a bunch of videos from our website. Just a bunch of classic ones, just goofing off and having a lot of fun.
Tired, Peter?
Not really.
Yeah, that's good.
When we were about to leave, I wasn't very tired, but once I got into the car and was sitting down, I kind of dozed off and slept for a long time.
You know, we're actually in Indianapolis. We've been on the road now for, I don't know, whatever, 3-4 hours, and he hasn't taken a rest stop.
He's been so sleepy. I don't know why. For some reason, he's very tired.
Our trip started in Illinois, and Peter ended up sleeping through the entire state of Indiana. Just about a 3-hour drive across Indiana. He just missed it completely.
When we went into Ohio, he saw that, but he thought we went straight from Illinois to Ohio.
You were still waiting for Indiana.
Yeah.
I think you were still waiting for Indiana, weren't you?
What?
Did you know we went through Indiana?
Yeah, I didn't know we were going to Indiana.
Yeah, that's the only way to get to Ohio, unless you go all the way around Indiana.
I didn't think of that. I didn't know there's Indiana in between.
Yeah, there definitely is. Yeah, because he was arguing with David that we never were in Indiana. And I said, honey, you slept all the way through. And we tried to tell you, sweetheart. You just didn't wake up.
We're going to go on Highway 70 here, up to this another Highway 70, up here, 79. Then go around Pennsylvania, then to New York, to our destination.
We've made this drive so many times, it seems sort of routine. I think we were already sort of calculating our arrival time and probably even taking guesses.
We're near the halfway point in the journey, and we have 431 miles to go, 7 hours and 12 minutes roughly, and snow is on the way, 4 to 7 inches by tomorrow. We're going to be arriving in the thick of a snowstorm, it looks like.
That was the goal.
I think we had maybe heard that there could be bad weather up ahead, but I thought, well, so you get snowed on while you're driving on the highway, it probably wouldn't make a big difference. But I don't think we had any idea what was in store for us.
We're near the halfway point in the journey, and snow is on the way, 4 to 7 inches by tomorrow, we're going to be arriving in the thick of a snowstorm.
I think we had maybe heard that there could be bad weather up ahead, but I thought, well, so you get snowed on while you're driving on the highway, it probably wouldn't make a big difference. But I don't think we had any idea what was in store for us.
Well, we're driving through Ohio, roughly in the Cleveland area. We've had quite a bit of precipitation here. For a while it was that rain and then sleet. Now it's snow, but it's coming down pretty heavily.
At first, everyone seemed to be having fun with that.
Snowball.
We were sort of making light of it, maybe getting a little nervous that, hey, is there going to be more snow? But, oh, hey, maybe it's only going to be a little bit. Might as well enjoy it while it's here.
You know, most people go south in February. We like to do things a little differently.
This is really neat that it's snowing.
Is it neat?
They're nice fat snowflakes.
Yeah, this is what we came up here for, to do some filming and taking a plunge of faith. We prayed that if God wanted snow, would you send some? And I think he has a sense of humor, because we've got about 5 hours of driving left and snow is coming, and it's following us as we go northeast.
At one point, as the snow had gotten fairly heavy, we had taken a rest stop and we were trying to get back onto the interstate ramp. When we got there and I tried to turn right at the light, I began to turn, and then I could tell I was sliding and I wasn't necessarily slowing down. So rather than attempt to complete a turn and maybe go skidding and flying off the road, I just quickly aborted the turn and decided to go straight.
Yeah, I missed the turn. I have to turn around at the light. Oh, there they are. There's a trailer.
We had to go way down and turn around, I think go a couple of miles and turn around just to come make that turn. And that's sort of when the trouble began.
Look how dense that is. It's just what we wanted, I guess. I'm just trying to take it easy and go in the tracks of the cars ahead of me. And there are a lot of semi-trucks around. Some of them are actually passing me on the left, so I gotta watch that too.
Originally, when we first encountered the snow, we thought, should we cut our losses, find a hotel, and sleep for the night, and then drive the rest the next morning?
We only have about probably 230 miles left to go, maybe it's a fourth of the drive. But of course we're really crawling here, and at some point this could get to be kind of hazardous. I honestly don't know what the plan is here. They are pulled over at a hotel, so they might even be discussing it now.
We decided, no, let's keep going, because we didn't know the snow would be that bad.
It was heavy enough that we actually detoured from the interstate because Dad was worried just about the safety of, it was heavy snow. They hadn't had time to clear it yet, and wouldn't want, trucks sliding around or all that. So we decided to go into the more desolate country roads where at least you wouldn't hit anyone or be hit by anyone, hopefully.
We can see if we can make it all the way to, the house like that, great. If not, we can at least have options, because we'll keep coming to different towns. It actually may end up being quicker, and it should be more well lit.
You have to keep in mind we were moving, so we thought, okay, we drove into a snowstorm, and since we're moving, we'll drive out of the snowstorm. At some point, though, we got far enough from civilization and the snow did not slow down that I felt like we almost checkmated ourselves, because we were far away from any hotels or really anything, and yet the snow was not letting up.
The wipers were frosting up, and unfortunately the wipers didn't seem to be very effective right in the middle where I needed them. They would just freeze up so quickly. I would sometimes duck to look through an opening in the ice on the windshield, and every little bit we would actually stop and pull. I would tell Mom on the walkie-talkie, hey, I'm sorry, but I need to pull over again just to try to get the ice off the wiper blades.
It's probably about the 8th time I've done this. This ice just really piles up, and it keeps the wipers from touching the glass and being effective. With thick stuff.
As it turns out, the white car was also having wiper issues. In fact, even worse.
It just would hesitate when it came back, and then the blades would go not quite as far, and then finally they just stopped completely. The wipers stopped.
suffice it to say, it was not safe to drive. Suddenly my wiper blades went completely kaput, and I couldn't see much, and we don't know what to do. All the automotive places are closed. We knew we had to keep going, but we couldn't go. We were stuck. So we knew we had to think of something.
Wanna try it? Does it look cold? It's cold.
It's about 2 o'clock in the morning here somewhere in western New York, and suddenly my wiper blades went completely kaput. We had the heat cranked up enough where the ice melts, but it was just a big blur. It was like looking through like one of those bathroom glasses where it's real foggy, and I couldn't see much, and we don't know what to do. All the automotive places are closed. We knew we had to keep going, but we couldn't go. We were stuck.
I remember Dad, who's always one to think outside the box, coming up with different ideas, like could we somehow tow the vehicle, or could they, you don't want to just drive blindly behind another car and tailgate like behind us, or but what, is there any safe way to transport it, because we can't just stop here in the snow.
And so we're pulled over on the side of the road here, and we're trying to rig something. James is always resourceful, and Mom got 2 lengths of shoelaces here. What are they, like 56 inches or something?
54.
54 inches. And we're gonna try, I mean, can we have it manually?
This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy.
At first, I had to kind of see it to know what they were talking about. I thought, what are they doing? Are they using a shoelace as the wiper, kind of using a shoelace as a squeegee and just sliding it? And I didn't know what they were talking about.
They tied the shoelaces to the wipers, and they're gonna try to manually tug it back and forth. And it might just work. It's moving.
This is certifiably insane.
You know, I'd like to get my hands on whoever coined the phrase, getting there is half the fun. This is one of those moments we're going to remember always. This is just so nuts, so surreal. It's 2 o'clock in the morning and we just rigged this shoelace contraption. I just want to get there and get to bed. This is crazy. But I guess let's see if it works.
Luke reports via walkie-talkie that the shoelaces are working to clear the windshield just enough to give them visibility, and we just keep plugging on here.
Every little bit, I'd say Luke, I can't see so well, he'd pull the string, clear the windshield, and before too long that became pretty routine. I sort of got immune to the fact that we had this crazy contraption going.
We dealt with quite a few challenges. We had the drama with the windshield wipers. We had, the trailer sliding around. We had the getting lost factor, the getting separate from each other factor.
Just for the icing on the cake here, on top of all the issues we had, we realized some of the cars were low on gas.
Hopefully they're open. Is that a gas station? Bright lights?
gas station.
No dice there. That's a car wash.
The thing about these small towns, it's I guess different from this area. Around here, we have some fairly big towns, and any gas station is open pretty much 24 hours a day. You just sort of take that for granted. Well, up here in this area, not only are towns few and far between, but overnight it seems like many of them close. So we'd be going through these just dark towns. You'd see gas stations with their lights out, and it was getting a little scary.
But I don't know if it's open.
No, they're locked. Is there another gas station on? There's more gas someplace else?
I guess we'll look you up.
Can
We
you
could
look
look
it
up by the phones. Might as well get in the car. We'll look you up.
That there is. Okay.
Yeah.
When we got there to what we thought was a decent-sized town and found that those gas stations were completely shut down, we were discouraged, thinking, oh man, maybe every gas station in the area is going to be the same. Probably the next town, could very well be just like this one.
It is
late. It is 4 in the morning, so hopefully 1 or 2 others will have gasoline for sale. We have one of the vehicles down to a quarter tank.
I remember thinking, I wonder which thing is going to get us first. Are we going to run out of gas? Are we going to run off the road? Is someone going to fall asleep? What's going to happen?
When we got there to what we thought was a decent sized town and found that those gas stations were completely shut down, we were discouraged, thinking, oh man, maybe every gas station in the area is going to be the same. What probably the next town, could very well be just like this one. But for a few reasons, we decided just to carry on and just hope for the best.
Okay, we're ready.
Okay.
Because it was so hazardous, it caused me to be hyper alert, which helped fight off the fatigue of being up so long.
So far, I feel okay. I think I'll just keep plowing through. I think as one of the older guys, I kind of feel responsible. It's kind of hard to give it up once you've started doing the driving. But I'll turn myself in, I'm sure, if it gets extreme. Like earlier today, Jude was good enough to take over the van for a little while I rested, and it was just enough to give me a little recharge.
We had to calculate whether our fuel would last into the next stop and then just hope that it was open.
It looks like something on the right.
Does it look open inside?
Open, looks bright, very, very open and good.
All right.
It seemed like we were, coming out of a tunnel, but we came to this really nice, well-lit, open gas station. And suddenly it was like, whew.
We're almost there.
I think I'm ready for springtime.
We all, still all kind of fried, but we all, used the bathroom, filled up the tanks, stretched, maybe put on another jacket, scraped off the windshield, and that moment sort of broke the back of the trip, I think.
Morning time.
We were amazed as we got into closer and closer to our destination that, wow, we made it through all of those miles, over 800 miles with 4 vehicles in the snow in the middle of the night without anyone suffering any mishaps or, going off the road or anything.
We're almost there. We're driving along the familiar bluff road with Keuka Lake just there.
I think Dad was maybe was even on the radio with us or something, kind of thinking the worst was over. And suddenly he just went a little off the road and just went into the ditch, and there was just sort of an explosion of snow.
You okay there?
I thought, oh man, it'd be a shame if after all of this we end up having to call a tow truck, just a few miles from the house because we got stuck in a ditch. And it was a good ditch. I mean, the vehicle was buried there.
It's so close. So close to the house. Keep going. Woohoo! Good job.
Before we would leave on a trip, we usually, for fun, just guess what time we'll arrive. Most of us guessed maybe 9 p.m., 10 p.m. We ended up arriving about 9 or 10 a.m.
I think everyone was exhausted, but also probably a little wound up. Everyone probably went to sleep that late morning and then maybe woke up in the afternoon or early evening, and it can sort of throw off your schedule. So it may have taken a little bit to settle in. I think it did help that it was a house we had been to before, so we at least knew where everything was.
It's hard to even relive it because it didn't feel like it was real then. And now that it's in the fog of hindsight, it seems even more unbelievable, even larger than life. And so I almost need to be convinced that it even happened.